गुड मॉर्निंग फ्रेंड्स। गुड मॉर्निंग। आप सबका बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन है। इस वीडियो में हम लोग बात करेंगे प्रश्न की एक बेहतरीन श्रृंखला। इस वीडियो में प्रश्नों को इतिहास से लाया गया है। इतिहास के प्रश्न आपकी स्क्रीन पर दिखेंगे। बने रहिए इस चैनल में, देखते रहिए, सीखते रहिए, आगे बढ़िए। सक्सेस रिक्वायरमेंट: हार्ड वर्क, persistence, late nights, rejection, sacrifice, discipline, criticism, doubts, failure, risk। सब के सब ये एसोसिएटेड है सक्सेस से। तो पहला प्रश्न आपके स्क्रीन पर: पर्शियन रूलर लाइक साइरस, डारियस प्रथम और जेरेक्स invaded India in ancient times. What was the were the effects of the Persian invasion on India? क्या आखिर इस लोग ने आक्रमण जो किया इसका क्या प्रभाव पड़ा होगा भारत पर? पर्शियन आक्रमण का प्रभाव: इंक्रीज इंडो ईरानियन कॉमर्स, use of Kharosthi script become popular in northwestern India, political unification of North India under Maurya। तो दिए गए जनरल स्टेटमेंट है एक और दो सही है। 6th century BC, when Magad was striving to build a extensive empire in India, invasion of foreigners started on the northwest frontier. The first who tried to penetrate into India were the Persian, and next were Greeks, who entered India under the famous ruler and conqueror Alexander of Macedonia. Cyrus the Great was the greatest conqueror of Achaemenid Empire. He was the first conqueror who led an expedition and entered into India. The capture he captured the Gandhara region, all Indian tribes to the west of the Indus River submitted to him and paid tribute. Darius Pratham, the grandson of Cyrus, conquered the Indus Valley in 518 BC and annexed Punjab and Sindh. The region became the 20 starpy of his empire. Cyrus utilized his Indian province to strengthen his position. He deployed Indian infantry and cavalry to Greece to fight his opponent, but they retreated after Xerxes faced a defeat in Greece. After this failure, Achaemenians could not follow a forward policy in India. However, the Indian province was still under the control. Persian invasion provided an impetus to growth of Indo-Iranian commerce. Also, it prepared the ground for Alexandria invasion. The use of Kharosthi script, a form of Iranian writing, became popular in northwestern India, and some of Ashoka's edicts were written in that script. We were able to see the influence of Persian art on the art of Maurya, particularly the monolithic pillars of Ashoka. and the sculptures found on them. The very idea of issuing edicts by soak and wording used in the edicts are traced to the Iranian influence. In short, Iranian connection with India improved or proved more fruitful than the short-lived Indo-Macedonian contact. Political unification of North India under Maurya's was the immediate effect of Alexander's invasion. The system of the small independent state comes to an end. बहुत इजी हिंदी था इसलिए मैंने इसका हिंदी नहीं किया. Between the 6th and the 4th century BCE, Magad became the most powerful Mahajanpad. What were the reasons for that? Strategic geographical position of Magad between upper and lower part of Godavari Valley, easy access of iron mines, elephants, an important component of army, were easily found in the forest in the region. पहला स्टेटमेंट ही गलत है इसलिए 2 और 3 सही है. Between 6th and the 4th century BCE, Magad, आज का बिहार, became the most powerful Mahajanpada. Modern historians explain this development in a variety of ways. Magad was endowed, endowed by the nature with a certain geographical and strategic advantage. This made her to rise to the imperial greatness. Her strategic position between the upper and lower part of the Gangetic Valley was a great advantage. It had a fertile soil. The iron ore in the hills near Rajgir and copper and iron deposit near Gaya added to its natural asset. Her location at the center of the highways of the trade of those days contributed to her wealth. Elephants, an important component of the army, were found in the forest in the region. Early Buddhist and Jain writers who wrote about Magad attributed its power to the policy of individuals, ruthlessly ambitious kings of whom Bimbisara, Ajatsattu, and Mahapadma none are the best none, and their ministers who help implement their policies. Next question about pillar inscription. Pillar inscriptions of Mehroli and Allahabad give information about Gupta. Mehroli and Allahabad pillar inscription give information about the reign of Gupta dynasty. Mehroli pillar inscription refer to the achievements of Chandragupta Pratham. This pillar edicts credits Chandragupta with the conquest of Venga countries by his battling alone against the confederacy of the enemies united against him. It also credits him for conquest of Wakata in the fight of that ran across the seven mouths of the Sindhu. Contains verses composed by Sanskrit language. Allahabad pillar inscription provide detailed account of reign of Samudragupta. It released to three stage in military campaign against some ruler of North India, famous Dakshin Path expedition against South India, his famous second campaign against some other rulers of India. Allahabad pillar inscription mentioned that Samudragupta defeated 12 rulers in his South Indian expedition. They were Mahendra of Kosal, Vyagaraja of Mahakantara, Mantaraja of Korola, Mahendragiri of Pistapura, Swami Dutt of Kotutura, Daman, so on. Which of the following travelers visited India during the reign of Gupta dynasty? It's गुप्ता डायनेस्टी के समय फाहियान हैंसोंग या फिर मेगास्थनीज केवल और केवल हर्षवर्धन के शासनकाल में आया था वेंसोंग फाहियान के समय में आया था तो केवल दो सही है मेगास्थनीज ही वाज एन एंशिएंट ग्रीक हिस्टोरियन diplomat and Indian ethnographer and explorer. He described India in his book Indiga, which is now the lost but has been partly reconstructed from literary fragments found in later authors. Megasthenes was the first person to leave a written description of India. Megasthenes was a great ambassador of the Seleucus Pratham Nicator in the court of Chandragupta Maurya. Fahian, famous Chinese pilgrim, Fahian visited India during the reign of Chandragupta Dutya. Out of his 9 years stay in India, he spent 6 years in Gupta Empire. He came to India by the land route to Khotan, Kasgar, Gandhar, and Punjab. He visited Peshawar, Mathura, Kannauj, Sravasti, Kapilvastu, कुशीनगर पाटलिपुत्र काशी बोध गया और भी प्लेसेस गया होगा वो he returned by the sea route visiting on the way of Ceylon, Java. The main purpose of his visit was to see the land of the Buddha and collect the Buddhist manuscript from India. He stayed in Patliputra for 3 years studying Sanskrit and copying Buddhist texts. अब बात करें फाहियान की तो फाहियान provides valuable information on the religious, social, economic condition of the Gupta Empire. According to him, Buddhism was in a flourishing condition in the northwestern India, but in the Gangetic Valley, it was in a state of neglect. He refers to the Gangetic Valley as the land of Brahmanism. Payan mentioned the unsatisfactory state of some of the Buddhist holy places like Kapilvastu, Kushinagar. According to him, the economic condition of the empire was prosperous. Although his account is valuable in many respects, he did not mention the name of Chandragupta. He was not interested in political affairs. His interest was primarily religion. He assessed everything from Buddhist angle. His observations on social condition are found to be exaggerated, yet his accounts are useful to know the general condition of the country. Song was a Chinese Buddhist monk, scholar, traveler, translator who traveled to India in the 7th century to describe the interaction between the Chinese Buddhism and Indian Buddhism during the Harshvardhana. He spent about 5 years at Nalanda, the great Indian university in the state of Bihar. Song studies logic, grammar, Sanskrit, and Yogacara school of Buddhism during his time at Nalanda. With the reference to the Gupta Empire, consider the following statement. There was no state interference in the individual's life. The system of punishment was severe, and pay and the spy system was prevalent. The practice of untouchability began in this period. Not at all. करेक्ट पूछा है तो सी है एक और तीन. Fahian's account on the Gupta administration provides useful information. He characterizes the Gupta administration as a mild and benevolent. There were no restrictions on people's movement and enjoyed a large degree of personal freedom. There was no state interference in the individual's life. Punishment were not severe. Imposing a fine was a common punishment. There was no spy system. Administration was so efficient that the roads were kept sacred, safe for the travelers, and there was no fear of the thieves. He mentioned that people were generally prosperous and the crimes were negligible. Okay. Fayan had also appreciated the efficiency of Gupta administration as he was able to travel without any fear throughout the Gangetic Valley. On the whole, the administration was more liberal than that of the Mauryas. Pre-Gupta period in Indian witnessed a series of foreign invasions. Indian societies had given way to those foreigners who had become permanent resident here. But during the Gupta period, the caste system became rigid. Brahmins occupied the top ladder of the society. They were given enormous gifts by the rulers as well as the other wealthy people. The practice of untouchability had slowly begun during this period. Vahan mentioned the Chandals were segregated from the society. Their miserable condition was elaborated by the Chinese traveler. Next question about Gupta era witness which of the following literary contribution? Behad Sanhita by Varamahir, Sutta Suta Oitaka by Anand, Kalpasutra by Bhadrabahu, Panchtantra by Vishnu Gupta. नॉट एट ऑल. 4 नंबर तो ऐसे गलत है. यहाँ सही दे दिया कैसे? विष्णुगुप्त के विष्णु शर्मा. करेक्ट पूछा गया है. 1 और 4 ही करेक्ट है. बृहद संहिता by Brahmahir was written during the reign of Gupta. It is a great word in Sanskrit literature. It's a great word in Sanskrit literature. It covers the wide-ranging subjects of common interest, including astronomy, planetary movements, eclipses, rainfall, clouds, architecture, growth of crops, manufacture of perfume, matrimony, and domestic relations. The volume expounds of gemstone evolution criteria found in Garud Puran and elaborates on the sacred nine pearl from the same text. It contains 106 chapters and it is known as a great compilation. Sut Pitak. Sut Pitak by Anand is a Pali collection. Sut Pitak by Anand is a Pali collection of Buddhist writings of Theravada Buddhism. It was written during the reign of Maurya. It deals with the dialogue and discourses on the mortality and, and deals with the dharma. Kalpsutru, Kalpsutra was by Bhadrabahu. is a Jain scripture written in Prakrit. It was written during the reign of Maurya. It deals with the life stories of last two Jain Tirthankars, Parasnath and Mahavir, on the eighth day of the long festival of Paryusan by Jain monks. Kalpsutra is the reed for the general Jain people. Panchtantra stories were composed by Vishnu Sharma during the Gupta period. It is the ancient Indian collection of interrelated animal fable in Sanskrit verse and prose arranged within the framed story. With the reference to the Chola administration, what was called Pura Pura Bhurithinkanlikam Kalikaya Purva Purva Purvarithinkai Kalam जो भी हो लैंड रेवेन्यू डिपार्टमेंट Chola had an excellent system of administration. The empire या फिर king was at the top of the administration. The extent and the resources of Chola empire increased the power and the prestige of monarchy. The big capital cities like Tanjore, Gangai Chand, Gangai, Gangai Konda Cholapuram, Tanjore हो या गंगई कोंडचलपुरम हो, the large royal courts and extensive grants to the temples reveal the authority of the king. They undertook royal tours to increase the efficiency of the administration. There was elaborate administrative machinery comprising various officials called Perundam and Sirundam. The land revenue department as well as organized is well organized. Land revenue department was well organized. It was called Pura Pura Bhuvari Pura Bhuvari Thinaki Thinaki Kalam Pura Bhurabi Thinaki Kalam. All lands were carefully surveyed and classified for the assessment of revenue. The residential portion of the village were called Urnattam. These and the other lands such as land belongings to the temples were exempted from tax. Besides the land revenue, there were tolls and customs on goods taken from one place to another, varied, various kinds of professionals taxes, dues levied on ceremonial occasions like marriages, judicial fines. During the hard times, there were remission of taxes and Kulotunga. Pratham became the famous by abolishing tolls and earned the title Sunga Tavit, Tavirta Chola. Sunga is Sungam Tavirta Cholan. The main items of the government expenditure were the king and his court, army and navy, roads and irrigation tanks or canals. Which of the following are the correctly matched Kottam administrative division of Pala Empire, Visay administrative division of Rashtrakuta, मंडलम एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव डिवीजन ऑफ चोला एम्पायर. तीन तो डेफिनेटली सही होना चाहिए. मंडलम तो विजयनगर का है यार. मंडलम एक दो तीन तीनों के तीनों सही है. पल्लव्स हैड अ वेल ऑर्गेनाइज्ड एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सिस्टम. पल्लव का बहुत ही बेहतरीन प्रशासनिक व्यवस्था था. पल्लव स्टेट वाज डिवाइडेड इनटू कोट्टम. पल्लव अपने राज्यों को कोट्टम में बांट दिया था. और कोट्टम का एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ऑफिसर का नाम होता था राजा. और मतलब कोट्टम को एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव किया जाता था, चलाया जाता था, प्रशासन के किसके हाथ में था? तो राजा का. द किंग वाज द सेंटर of the Pallav administration system, in which he was assisted by the योग्य मिनिस्टर के साथ. He was the a fountain of justice. He maintained a well-trained army. राष्ट्रकूटा empire was divided into several provinces. राष्ट्रकूट साम्राज्य जो था ना वो बहुत ही विशाल था, इसलिए उसको अलग अलग प्रोविंसेस में बांटा गया था जिसको कहा गया था राष्ट्रस, अंडर द कंट्रोल ऑफ राष्ट्रपतिज. दे वेयर फर्दर डिवाइडेड इनटू, राष्ट्रपति को भी बांटा गया था विसीएस में या फिर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जिसका गवर्नर था विषयपति. द नेक्स्ट डिवीजन ऑफ भुक्ति, अब विषय को बांटा गया था भुक्ति जिसमें 75 से 70 विलेज एक बड़े भोगपति के अंदर हुआ करते थे. द ऑफिसर्स वेयर डायरेक्टली अपॉइंटेड बाय द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट. ये जो ऑफिसर्स होते थे भोगपतिज, ये डायरेक्ट सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के द्वारा नियुक्त किए जाते थे. द विलेज एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन was carried on by the village headman. However, the village assemblies played a significant role in the village administration. Chola Empire was divided into mandalams, and each mandalams into the Valnadus. चोला का जो साम्राज्य था वो मंडलम में विभाजित था और मंडलम जो है वलनाडु में विभाजित था. वलनाडु जो था वो नाडु में विभाजित था. प्रत्येक नाडु देयर आर नंबर ऑफ ऑटोनोमस विलेज. द रॉयल प्रिंसेस या फिर ऑफिसर्स वेयर इन द चार्ज ऑफ मंडलम. वलनाडु वाज अंडर द पेरियन नट्टार and Nadu under the Nattar. The town was known as Nagaram and it was under administration of council called Nagarattar. Nagarattar. Consider the following statement: हर्षचरित, रत्नावली और नागदंता. हर्षचरित्र, पानभट्ट, रत्नावली और नागदंता. इसको हर्षवर्धन ने किसको लिखा है? तो रत्नावली को और नागदंता को. तो बी इज द राइट आंसर. 2 और 3. हर्षवर्धन कहो या हर्ष. द सेकेंड सन ऑफ प्रभाकर वर्धन का बेटा था वो, दूसरा बेटा. एंड यंगर ब्रदर का नाम था राज्यवर्धन. रूल्ड अ लार्ज एम्पायर इन नॉर्दर्न इंडिया फ्रॉम 606 टू 647. 606 से 647 एडी तक हर्षवर्धन ने शासन किया. Emperor Harsh himself was a great scholar. बहुत बड़ा पढ़ाकू था वो, बहुत बड़ा स्कॉलर था. Who patronized and sponsored many poets like Ban Bhatt and Mayura. We come to know his life from the famous work Harshcharitam, composed by Ban Bhatt, the foremost Sanskrit prose writer. Harsh is a composer of 3 Sanskrit works: Nagdan, Ratnavali, and Pridasika. The first one, I mean Nagdan, is नाटक, जबकि रत्नावली और पृदसिका ये वास्तव में आर नाटिक्स. Nagdanta is a play in 5 acts which describes the self-sacrifices of Jimutvahan, the prince of Vidyadhars. Besides the main theme, there is an interesting subplot in Dharma in which hero's love for Malayavati has been depicted. Ratnavali, Har's masterpiece, is a natika in 4 acts which deals the story of the union of the king Udayan and Ratnavali, daughter of the king of Ceylon. Priyadarshika is also a natika in 4 acts, having its theme the union of Udayan and Priyadarshika, the daughter of king Dhirdavarmana. With the reference to the history of the ancient India, the term Nilopitu. क्या है नीलोपिटू? आर्काइव ऑफ पब्लिक रिकॉर्ड. नीलोपिटू Maintenance of the public record was a salient feature of the Harshvardhana's administration. The archive of the Harshvardhana period was known as Nilopitu, and it was under the control of the special officer. There were many good and bad events that took place during the time and were recorded. With the reference to the administration and the society during the rule of Harshvardhana, consider the following statement. Forced labor was very much prevalent. Cruel punishments of Mauryan period were discontinued during the harsh time. Cruel punishment of the Mauryan period were discontinued during the Harsa period. The system of dowry was common. हर्षवर्धन के शासनकाल के बारे में आप कितना जानते हैं? दो और तीन, केवल और केवल तीन, केवल तीन. हर्षास एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, हर्षवर्धन का प्रशासन. The administration of Harsa या हर्ष was organized on the same lines as Gupta. गुप्ताओं के प्रशासन को ही अपना आधार बना लिया था इसने. Hansong gives a detailed picture about this. हर्षवर्धन के शासनकाल का सबसे बेहतरीन पिक्चर वैनसोंग के द्वारा दिखाया गया है. The king was just in his administration and punctual in discharging his duty. He made frequent visits of inspection throughout his dominion. The day was too short for him. Taxation was light, and forced labor was also rare. One of the sixth of the produce was collected as a land tax. 1/6. Cruel punishment of Mauryan period continued in the times of Harsa. Cruel punishment of the Mauryan period continued in the times of Harsa. Wensong condemned the trials as barbarous and superstitious. Harsh's army consisted the traditional four division foot, horse, chariot and elephant. The number of cavalry was more than 1 lakh and elephants more than 60,000. 60,000 हाथी, 1 लाख से ज़्यादा घोड़ा. This was much more than the Mauryan army. Society under the Harsh. बाण भट्ट और हवेनसम दोनों ने पोर्ट्रेट किया है सोशल लाइफ इन द टाइम्स ऑफ हर्ष. द फोर फोल्ड डिवीजन ऑफ द सोसाइटी ब्राह्मण क्षत्रिय वैश्य शूद्र was prevalent. Brahmins were privileged section of the society and they were given a land grants by the kings. Kshatriyas were the ruling class. Vaishyas were mainly traders. Wensong mentioned that Shudra practices agriculture. There existed many subcastes. The position of women was not satisfactory. Institution of Swambara, choice of choosing of her husband had declined. स्वयंवर जो आज भी होता है वो घट गया था. Remarriage of widows was not permitted. विधवा विवाह अनुमति नहीं थी, particularly among the higher caste. The system of dowry had also become common. दहेज तो भयानक था. Practice of sati was also prevalent. When Song mentioned 3 ways of disposal of dead. एक तो क्रीमेशन, दूसरा वाटर बुरियल, तीसरा एक्सपोजर इन द वुड्स. Consider the following statement regarding the economic and cultural progress during the Harshvardhan reign. There was a significant economic progress as compared to the economic of the Gupta period. Mantanga या मतंगा दिवाकर and Bharthari या Bharthari were the court poets of Harshvardhana. मतंगा दिवाकर और भृतहरि क्या वो हर्षवर्धन के शासनकाल में थे? Harshvardhana was the Shiva follower in the beginning, but gradually embraced Buddhism. चलो इसका सही जवाब तो पता चल गया और दो और तीन है. देखिए ट्रेड एंड कॉमर्स हैड डिक्लाइन ड्यूरिंग हर्ष पीरियड. हर्ष के समय ट्रेड और कॉमर्स जो है वो डिक्लाइन में चला गया. This evident from the decline of the trade center, less number of coins, and slow activities of merchant guilds. The decline of trade in turn affected the handicraft industry and agriculture. Since there was no large-scale demand for goods, the farmer began to produce only a limited way. This led to the rise of self-sufficient village economic. In short, there was a sharp economic decline as compared to the economic of the Gupta period. Hers was a great patron of learning. His biographer Ban Bhatt adorned his royal court. Besides Hers' Charitra, he wrote Kadambari. One other literary figures in Hers' court were Matanga Divakar, Matanga Divakar, and famous Bredhari, Bharthari, who was a poet, philosopher, and grammarian. Hers patronized the Nalanda University by his liberal endowments. It attained international reputation as a center of learning during the reign of Harshvardhana. Song visited the Nalanda University and remained as a student for some time. In his early life, Harsh was devotee of Seva. शुरुआत में वो शैव था but later became an ardent Hinyan Buddhist. आगे चलकर वह हीनयान बुद्धिस्ट अपना लिया. Song converted him to Mahayana Buddhism. लेकिन हेनसंग ने उसको महायानन बुद्धिज्म में बदल दिया. हर्ष prohibited the use of animal food in his kingdom and punished those who kill any living being. He, he, he erected thousands of stoops and established travelers' rests all over his kingdom. He also erected monasteries at the sacred places of Buddhists. Consists the following statement. The reign of Pallav witnessed the rise of Buddhism and Jainism and also the declining of Saivism and Vaishnavism. During the reign of Pallav, the Brahmadev and Devdhan lands were exempted from tax. चलिए केवल 20 सही है. बात कर लेते हैं हम लोग पल्लव प्रशासन की. Land tax was the primary source of Pallav government revenue. Pallav king provided land grants to the temples known as Devdhan and also to the Brahmans known as Brahmadeya. The Brahmadeya या Devdhana lands were exempted from tax. Traders and artisans such as carpenters, goldsmiths, washermen, oil processors, and weavers paid taxes to the government. Pallava inscription throw much light on village assemblies called Sabha and their committees. They maintained records of a village lands, looked after local affairs, and managed temples. Society under Pallavas. The Tamil society witnessed a great change during Pallav period. The caste system became rigid. Brahmanis, the Brahmans occupied a high place in society. They were given land grants by the kings and nobles. They were also given the responsibility of looking after temples. Pallava period also witnessed the rise of Saivism and Vaishnavism and also declining the Buddhism and Jainism. The Saiv Nayanars and Vaishnava Alvars contributed to the growth of Saivism and Vaishnavism. This is known as Bhakti movement. They composed their hymns in Tamil language. These hymns revealed the importance of devotion of Bhakti. The construction of temples by the Pallav kings paved the way for the spread of the to this religion. With the reference to the growth of the literature during the reign of Pallavas, consider the following statements. The Ghatika at Kanchi was a popular center of learning and it attracted students from all parts of the Indian and abroad. Ghatika at Kanchi was a popular center of learning and it attracted students from all parts of India and abroad. Nalya, Nalyarda Dibya Prabandhanam. Nalya, Nalya Dibya Prabandhanam is a collection of 4,000 Tamil verses composed by Nayanars. Mahabharat was translated into Tamil by Piran, Purandanvar, 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 which is correct. सब के सब नहीं बल्कि एक और तीन केवल सही है. Education and literature during the Pallavas. Pallavs were a great patron of learning. Their capital Kanchi was an ancient center of learning. The Ghatika at Kanchi was popular and it is attracted students from all parts of India and abroad. Founder of Kadamba dynasty is Mysore Burman studied Veds at Kanchi. Deen Ganga, a Buddhist writer, came to study at Kanchi. Dharampala, who later became the head of the Nalanda University, belonged to Kanchi. Bharvi, the great Sanskrit scholar, lived in the time of Sim, Simbishnu. Dandin, another Sanskrit writer, adorned the court of Narsingh Burman Dutya. Mahendra Burman Pratham composed the Sanskrit play Matvilas Prasannam. Matvilas Prasannam, Mahendra Burman Pratham. Tamil literature also deployed, developed. The Nainamars, Nainars or Alvars composed the religious hymns in Tamil. Devaram composed by Nainamars. देवारम को कंपोज किया गया नैनोमार्स के द्वारा एंड दी नल्यारा दीप प्रबंधनम नल्यार दीप दिव्य प्रबंधनम composed by Alvar represent the religious literature of Pallava period. Perundvar, Perund, Perund, Perindevnar was patronized by Nandi Varman Dutti and he translated the Mahabharata as a Bharata Vevana, Bharata Venuba in Tamil. Nandi Ka Kal Bangam, Nandi Kalambangam was another important work, but the name of the author of this work not known. Consider the following statements. Beer style या बेसरा style in the building of structural temple was developed by Pallavas. Four temples at Mahabalipuram and Birdeswara temple at Tanjore were built in Vesara style. सोर टेम्पल जो कि महाबलीपुरम में है और तो बिदेश्वर टेम्पल जो कि तंजौर में है, ये बेसर स्टाइल में नहीं है भाई, ये तो द्रविड़ स्टाइल में आना चाहिए। लेट्स सी, प्रथम दोनों के दोनों इनकरेक्ट है। चालुक्य वे आर द ग्रेट पैट्रन ऑफ आर्ट, दे डेवलप्ड the Vesar style in the buildings of structural temples. However, Vesara style reached its culmination only under the Rashtrakuta and Hoysala. बेसर स्टाइल जो है वो बहुत ही अपने ऊंचाई पर तब पहुंचा जब राष्ट्रकूटों और होयसल का उनका संरक्षण प्राप्त हुआ। वेसर स्टाइल कंटेंस eliminate both Dravid and Nagar style. In particular, the shape of the superstructure over the sanctum is usually pyramid in profile and shorter than the northern Shikhar tower. The structure temples of the Chalukya exist at Ahol. जो चालुक्यों का जो स्ट्रक्चर है वो एहोल में है, बदामी में है, पडक्कल में है। Their cave temples are found in Ajanta, Ellora, नासिक। चालुक्यों का जो केव टेम्पल्स है अजंता में है, एलोरा में है, नासिक में है। Badami temple, Durga temple at Ahol, and Virupaksha temple at Padakkal were built by the Vesar style. वेसर स्टाइल में बना हुआ है सब, चाहे बदामी हो, दुर्गा हो जो कि एहोल में है, उसी तरह विरूपाक्ष टेम्पल और पड़क्कल टेम्पल भी बनाया गया है। मतलब विरूपाक्ष टेम्पल जो कि पड़क्कल में है वो भी वेसर स्टाइल में बनाया गया है। Soor temple at Mahabalipuram and Brideswara temple at Tanjore were built in Dravida style of the temple architecture. Consider the following. Monolithic Kailash temple at Ellora was built during the Chalukya ruler. Kannada, a Kannada become Kannad, a Kannad. Kannada became the more prominent as a literary language during the Rashtrakuta rule. Kavi Rajmarg was the first poetic work in Kannada language. Oh, I think one is the correct, yeah, two and three. So two and three is correct क्योंकि पहला बात तो जो Magnificence Rock Monolithic Kailash Temple at Ellora was built by Krishnadev Pratham was the famous ruler of Rashtrakuta Empire. तो वहाँ पे ऑप्शन में क्या दिया था? चालुक्य का तो होगा नहीं, राष्ट्रकूटों का होगा। ये जो Magnificence Rock Cut Monolithic Kailash Temple at Ellora was built by Krishna Pratham, who was the famous ruler of Rashtrakuta Empire. Kannada became the more prominent as a literary language during the Rashtrakuta rule, with script and literature showing a remarkable growth in dignity and productivity. This period effectively marked the end of the classical Prakrit and Sanskrit era. The court poets and the royalty created eminent works in Kannada and Sanskrit that spanned such literary forms as prose and poetry, rhetoric, the Hindu epics, and the life history of Jain Tirthankar. Kavi Rajmarg by the Amog Vers Pratham is the earliest available book on rhetoric and poetics in Kannada. Kavi Rajmarg is the guide to poets, Kavi Siksha, that aims to standardize these various styles. With the reference to the history of the ancient India, the term Pura पुराव क्या लिखा है पूर्वा 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 पूर्वार्थिकम पूर्वार्थिकी का कलम पढ़ भी नहीं पा रहे हैं क्या लिखा हुआ है पूरा पुरावु 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 वारी थिना थिना की कलकम किस चीज के लिए है यार लैंड रेवन्यू डिपार्टमेंट Puravu Puravu Varithina Kakkalam was the land revenue department during the rule of the imperial Cholas. During the rule of Cholas, all lands were carefully surveyed and classified for the assessment of revenue. The residential portion of the village was called Ur Nattam. This and the other lands, such as lands belonging to temples, were exempted from tax. Beside land revenue, there were tolls and customs on ground on goods taken from one place to another, various kinds of professional taxes, dues levied on ceremonial occasions like marriage and judicial fines. During the hard times, there were remission of taxes, and Kulotunga Pratham became famous by abolishing tolls and earned the title Sungam Tavirta. The main items of government expenditure were the king and his court, army and navy, roads, irrigation, tanks, and canal. Consider the following statement. The development of Tamil literature reached its peak during the Chol period. Saivism and Vaishnavism declined during the Chola period. Cholas had commercial contacts with China, Sumatra, Java, Arabia. चलिए दूसरा काटिए इसका एक और तीन सही है डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ लिटरेचर ड्यूरिंग द चोला पीरियड या डेवलपमेंट ऑफ लिटरेचर ड्यूरिंग द चोला पीरियड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ तमिल लिटरेचर रीच इट्स पीक ड्यूरिंग द चोल पीरियड शिवा शिवकाशी शिवकाशी कासिन का लिखा है शिवकाशी कासिन तामानी शिवकासन शिवकाशी 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 मणि शिवकाशिता मणि शिवकाशिता मणि शिवकाशी शिवकाशितांता मणि written by थिरु थिरु थक्कर Davar and Kundalakesi belong to 10th century. Ramayan composed by the Kamban and Periyapuranam या फिर Thiruthutandapuram by Sekhla are the two masterpieces of the age. Jaya Jayankondar's Kalingatu Puran Kalitunga Pupa Rani describe the Kalinga War fought by Kulango Pratham. Mubarula, written by Otak Uttor, depicts of the life of the three Chola kings. Nalvenba was written by Pugalendi. The works on Tamil grammar like Kaladam or by Kalandar, Yapar Rungalam by Amita Sagar, Jain Nanul by Pava Nandi, and Birosolium by Buddha Charitamrita were products of the Chola age. भयानक language दिया हुआ है. Socio-economic life during the Chola period. Both Saivism and Vaishnavism continued to flourish during the Chola period. A number of temples were built with the patronage of Chol kings and queens. The temples remained center of economic activity during this period. Both agriculture and industry flourished. Reclamation of the forest lands and the construction and the maintenance of the irrigation tanks lead to the agriculture prosperity. The weaving industry, the particular like silk weaving at Kanchi, flourished. Metal works developed owing to a great demand of image for temples and utensil commerce and trade were bricks with the trunks road or Kalika Peru Bhajis and merchant guilds. Gold, silver, and copper coins were issued in plenty at various denominations. Commercial contacts between Chola Empire and China, Sumatra, Java, Arabia were extensively prevalent. Arabian horses were imported in large numbers to strengthen the cavalry. With a reference to the history of ancient India, what was the popularly known as Muchamangam? Mucha Muchachangam, Muchachanganam, Academic of Tamil Poets, Academy of Much Muchachangam. Sangam age constitutes the important chapter in history of the South India. According to the Tamil legend, there existed three Sangam, academic of Tamil poets in ancient Tamil Nadu, popularly now called Mucha Changam, Muchachangam. This Sangam flourished under the royal patronage of Pandyas. Which of the following pair is correctly matched? First Sangam, Madurai. Second Sangam, Madurai. Third Sangam, Kapadpuram. सा केवल इसका सही जवाब एक है संगम एकेडमिक ऑफ तमिल फ्लोरिस अंडर द रॉयल पैट्रोनोज ऑफ पांड्यास पहला संगम मदुराई में हुआ था बाय अटेंडेड बाय गॉड्स भगवान ने इसमें भाग लिया था एंड लीजेंडरी सेक्स बैट नॉट लिटररी वर्क्स इन दिस संगम अभी कुछ है नहीं इसके हाथ में सेकेंड संगम was held at Kapatpuram but all the literary works had perished except Tolkappiyam सिर्फ एक बचा है Tolkappiyam. The third Sangam at Madurai was founded by Mudathiru Thirumaran. Mudathirumaran. It was attended by the large number of poets who produced voluminous literature, but only a few had survived. His Tamil literary works remain useful sources to construct or reconstruct the history of the Sangam age. With reference to the quality of the Sangam age, consider the following statement. Hereditary monarchy was the form of the government during the Sangam period. Hereditary monarchy was the form of the government during the Sangam period. Tiger was the royal emblem of the Pandyas. Custom officials employed in the seaport were known as Patin 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 Papallai या Patina Patina Patinapallai Patinapallai हेरिडिटी नहीं था सी एक और तीन हेरिडिटी था Hereditary monarchy was the form of the government during the Sangam period. The king had also taken the advice of his minister, poet, and the imperial court. Chera king assumed the title Vanar, Vanavar, Vanavarman, Vanvan, Puttuvan, or Villar. Chola kings like Sennai, Vellavan, or Killi. The Pandya king Thaneswar and Minnawar. Each of the Sangam dynasties are royal emblem. Car Fort Pandya, Tiger Fort Chola, Bow Fort Chera. Imperial court or Avi was attended by the number of chief officials. The king was assisted by the large body of officials who were divided into 5 councils. They were ministers, army HR, priest, athanar, military commanders, senapati, envoys, thutthar, spies, or the literary administration was also efficiently organized during the Sangam age. Each ruler had a regular army and their respective Kodi Mammaram tutelary tree. Land revenue was the chief source of the state's income, while custom duty was also imposed on foreign trade. Patinna Pallai refers to the custom official employed in the seaport of Puhar. Booty captured in wars was also a major income to the royal treasury. Roads and highway were well maintained and guarded night and day to prevent robbery and smuggling. बने रहिए चैनल में, लगातार देखिए, सीखते रहिए, आगे बढ़िए, सक्सेस तो देना ही है भगवान को भी, और आपका साथ ज़रूर मिलेगा सब लोगों का, बस अपना मेहनत मत छोड़िए। थैंक यू।